Hello viewers and welcome to another episode of Catch Play, your sports development program. Great to have your company. I'm Mai Koime, and joining me on the show tonight is none other than the host himself, Godwin Eki.
Thank you so much, Mai. It's always a pleasure having hosted this show with you.
So Godwin, take us through on what we have on the show tonight. I know for certain we have an exciting lineup.
That's right, Mai. Absolutely. We do have an exciting lineup that's coming up on the show tonight. So why don't we take a look and see what we have on the program tonight. Coming up on the show tonight, we take a look at new Calgary-based team Calgary United starting off its first taste of Rugby Sevens competition. We then take a look at Port Moresby School Soccer School program, Kimbe Rebels Rugby Union coach Freddie Matthews, and finally an interview with Taekwondo PNG. And there you have it. That was your lineup for this evening. Now moving to our first story, we have the newcomers Calgary United, and Mai, you obviously caught up with them over the weekend, so tell us a little bit about them.
The new Calgary-based Rugby Sevens team took part in the Governors Cup tournament for the first time, and a competition where a community-based team wanted to take part in. Let's look at the story. New community-based team Calgary United started off its first taste of Rugby Sevens competition at Bava Park last weekend, taking part in the Governors Cup Sevens competition. The Sevens competition was proudly sponsored by NCD Governor Powers Pakop. Calgary United was created by Timothy Samuel, a young Gulf lad who lives at the Calgary community. It was an idea he thought would develop rugby union in the community itself, as for Calgary community is famous for rugby league and touch football. The team itself is made up of players in the likes of current PNG Pukpuk, Stanis Susuve, and 5 PNG touch representatives, including Waris Sarufa, Samuel Veitu, Eugene Eka, and Manu Sevese, with the Gulf East Sapia trainer Joe Walter as the team manager. Most of these boys once grew up in the Calgary community, and it was good to go back to the roots or a place they call home. The new team assembled last weekend in their first ever Rugby Sevens competition. The team was sponsored by Wills Customs Limited, who donated 2,000 kina to cater for registration and medical fees. Team captain Timothy Samuel said their main objectives for participating is to promote the code of rugby union and encourage more youths to take part.
Most of the boys are from the touch comp, the corporate touch comp, the actually current PNG reps. There's about 5 of them that are taking part in the Calgary United team. We also got a current PNG Union Sevens rep, Stanis Susuve, who's taking part with us. For the rest of us, we're just interested participants in this tournament. Basically, our aim here is to promote the game and also to give the opportunity to those who are new to this game to learn something new and basically just have fun.
The enthusiasm of raw talent from the Calgary community has inspired them to put up a team to play. The team is focused on taking on more tournaments hosted by the Capital Rugby Union in the future. And yeah, Godwin, I caught up with the team on the weekend during the Rugby Sevens Governors Cup tournament. And this is a team that is pretty much from the community level, from the Calgary area. Calgary is famous of rugby league competitions and the touch football, but this was the first taste of Rugby Sevens for the boys from that area.
Just tell us, I know it's their first time to come together and have a team. What's the reason? Is there a reason? Is there a specific reason as to why they had to bring the youths together?
Well, they want to promote the code itself in Calgary area, and also to start promoting rugby union for the youths as well that are not doing anything apart from rugby league and the touch football competitions.
So what's going on with the trainer or the coach? How did he get the team together?
Well, the team was obviously made up by the captain himself, as we saw the interview, Timothy Samuel. He's a young rugby union player who plays for Wanderers. But when he found out that they needed competitions and the teams to make up teams for this Governor's Cup, he took up the initiative to come up with a team called the Calgary United. There's a United Church that's based there, so they actually went ahead and started naming the team Calgary United. And it's also sponsored by a local himself that lives there. He sponsored them 2,000 kina for registration and medical fees. And the boys were all mixed up of rugby union players plus the touch reps from PNG, and none other than Stanis Tusuve, who is the current PNG Pukpuk, who made himself available to be part of this team.
Is there any talks of having to attend future competitions now that they have a team?
Yes, they are looking at taking part in the Capital Rugby Union competition, and also other tournaments that will be organized by the PNG Rugby Football Union.
Well, I think it's great to have such group or community come together and to come up with a team like Calgary United. So good on the community.
They are the second team to come on board. The first was the Sabama rugby union team that took part, but they faded away. Calgary has stepped in, so this is the second time for a community-based team to be involved in such big tournaments that is organized outside of the very place that they live in. Yeah.
Good story there. Anyway, we'll take a quick break, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Catch Play. Now, Port Moresby School Soccer re-established its school soccer program last weekend at a meeting held at the Paradise High School. A working committee was created during the meeting, so here's their story.
The Port Moresby School Soccer re-established its soccer program, and a working committee was created over the weekend to work towards the school soccer program, which will be kick-starting on the 1st of April this year. The main aim for the working body now will be to work towards the infrastructure, logistics, venues and the sponsors for the school soccer program.
These are the guys that we said, or I said that, like I discussed with you, that we need to form a working committee first.
School soccer has been stranded for a long time, and with the re-establishing, rules and regulations will be very important to play for excellent football and also organization as well. There will be 3 divisions played in school soccer: under 12, under 14 and under 16. The school soccer will now be used as a pathway to give kids the incentives to work towards the National Soccer League competitions. Mr. John Mogi, the Port Moresby School Soccer Coordinator, said the school soccer is to create pathways in their own age groups and then make way up to excellent academy and through to NSL. Something for the kids to work towards too, and to develop them early in football.
Main thing we want to see is children having pathway from early age and going up. So what we are trying to do is create this opportunity where we have 6 divisions, and that division or that pathway is for each districts. We have 3 districts. 3 electorates in Northeast, Northwest, and Moresby South. This competition is an elite competition. It aims to be the catalyst for good quality footballers to come out of it.
And there you have it. That was the discussion between the school committee regarding soccer programs. Now, Ma, you caught up with them, so obviously you have more information.
First of its kind, re-establishing of Port Moresby School Soccer again. Mr. John Mogi himself is the coordinator for this. They started off their first meeting on Saturday, and they created the working body that will work around a lot of infrastructure, venues, sponsors, to kickstart the school soccer that will be run 1st of April this year. So they'll be targeting a lot of school kids, divisions under 12, under 14 and under 16. And there's a new concept. It's a pathway to build these kids through to National Soccer League, and it's going to be an incentive program for the school soccer kids.
So this is just going to start within Port Moresby as well. Obviously, you're talking about having hosting clinics in Port Moresby before extending to other centres.
Exactly. They'll be looking into that as soon as they get sponsors and venues out there for the kids to take part during the school soccer competitions. Yeah.
So what I know we have the big soccer tournaments that PNG is now looking forward to, and having to come up with this new structure and having people in place to actually move this forward. What's the benefit of having such programs? Well,
the benefit is they're looking at getting these kids involved in soccer for to keep them going on. An incentive where the kids under 12s will have 3 teams to compete against each other, plus under 14 and under 16.
So this is to create future soccer players that will one day represent PNG.
So the school competition will start 1st of April. When it ends, the kids will step up into Excellence Academy, which will also be part in July, and they will start developing these kids to work towards taking part in the National Soccer League. So they won't be looking at elsewhere to get the kids, but
so
they have their
obviously
school
having
kids,
different categories and stepping up and moving forward.
Yes, that's the pathway for school soccer now. They're now changing into, before it was just school soccer and it all died out, but now they've re-established it with I think a very strong working body with the likes of Reginald Davani, and these are the people who've been in big soccer tournaments, and they would love to help kids and work with kids to bring them up.
Didn't Reginald Devani, have a program that he's running as well?
Yes, he also has a school soccer boys for the boys themselves, and this is something that he would want to help the Moresby school soccer to also move forward in helping the kids in the schools to come out and show the football skills and make it to the next level.
So before we go for a quick break now, any idea on when these programs will be kicking off?
1st of April, as I've already said, this year, the 1st of April is the first Port Moresby school soccer competition kicks off. And then in July, we have those kids who've taken part in there, makes their way up for the Excellent Academy towards the National Soccer League.
Now, lastly, Mai, just how do these kids, or I know there are lots of kids out there who are interested, how can their parents, put them through this program?
Well, they have teachers from different schools that are attending this meeting.
Right.
And these are the very teachers that will pass out the message to the kids plus the parents. They might have their parent-guardian meeting and at their own schools, and the message will be passed on like that. So, I think it will be an exciting thing to see school soccer re-established again in PNG.
Good stuff there. And we'll go for a quick break, and after the break, we catch up with Freddie Matthews, who's the coach for Kimbe Rebels, right after this. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Catch Play. Now, we caught up with Kimbe Rebels Rugby Union coach Freddie Matthews. So let's take a look at his profile as a coach.
Freddie, tell us a bit about your coaching with... Freddie Matthews is a household name when it comes to Kimbe Rebels Rugby Union team. From a player himself, now has ventured into the coaching side of this team. Freddie hails from Tuvalu in the Micronesian islands, but grew up and lived all his life in Kimbe, West New Britain province, and that is where he calls home and where he comes from now. Taking up coaching after university has always been a great opportunity for him, as he has brought the team to what we call a success through his coaching in the previous Rugby Sevens competitions. Freddie Mattis tells us about how he became to coaching the team.
We started coaching when I came back from uni. I think around 2003 is when I first came back. Union was just about introduced in West New Britain in 2002. We were looking for someone to sort of take on the coach sort of thing. So 2003 we started I started taking on the role as a coach, and time progressed, and we've come to this stage now.
Coming from a sporting background, coaching is nothing different for him. Because of his love for these sports, he enjoys it very much. A busy man that is juggling work and also coaching for the love of the sports rugby union in his home province and to promote and develop sports in West New Britain province. Freddie is also the operations manager for the 2016 PNG Games in Kimber. And that was Freddie Mattis, the profile that we had for Coach Kimber Rebels Rugby Union team. Godwin, I caught up with Freddie Mattis. You know, what a busy man and an inspiration to his very own rugby union team as a coach.
Yes, obviously, we all know that you know, he started up as a young lad. You know, got into rugby, represented Kimber Rebels. You know, everything was all about rugby when it came to Freddie Mattis.
And now he's the operations manager for the 2016 PNG Games in Kimber as well.
Yep.
You know, juggling work and sport, like he said, for the love of the sports rugby union, it's not even hard. You know, he goes out there and gives instructions to the players. The similar thing that he's gone through, he's just putting it together. And here he has a team that is working extra hard to, you know, to lift the name of West New Britain Province to be the top rugby union team in where he comes from.
I mean, we all know that Freddie is also in charge of the PNG Games that's happening later this year. But just having to, you know, run after the PNG Games and then start coaching this team, it's a big load for him to you know, maneuver these things. But what's the motive behind him trying to, you know, coach the team and then at the same time, you know, trying to organize PNG Games?
Well, like he said, when I interviewed him, he was like, you know, the love of sports, rugby union, is in him. And for him, coaching, it's nothing hard. It's just easy. And also, I asked him about his job as the operations manager for the PNG Games. He's done that before, and it's easy, and it's nothing like a workload to him. It's just an everyday thing that he does, and he loves it. That's why it's not even hard for him to be a coach and at the same time organizing for the PNG Games.
Did he ever tell you how easy it is? I mean, for some people, I'm sure it would be hard, but he's juggling 2 things or 3 things.
Well, like he said, he loves it, so he's enjoying it pretty much from being an operations manager and on the field with his team, the atmosphere, and you know, bringing this team far to where it is now. I mean, he's doing a great job.
I'm pretty sure Mahi's got a message behind this. I mean, obviously being looked at as a role model by his team members. You know, what's the advice from him?
Well, his advice is, you know, it doesn't stop there. If you can coach or if you can work or you can be an athlete, nothing is impossible. You can do it.
Yes, and there you have it, viewers. That was a quick discussion on Freddie Mattis, who's also the operations manager for PNG Games once again, and Kimber Rebels coach. We'll go for a quick break, and after that we have a discussion on the Taekwondo Oceania Qualifications Championships that's happening here in Port Moresby. Back, you're watching Catch Play. Now, we had an interview with Taekwondo regarding their preparations for the Oceania Olympic qualifiers. So here's their interview.
Gordon, thank you for having us in your studios. We're here to tell the country about the international event that we are hosting for the region. And there are 5 global tournaments around the world happening right now for the selections, qualification selections to the Rio Olympics, and one of those 5 is the Oceania Olympic qualification, which will be held this Saturday at the Tarama Aquatic Leisure Center. We'll be having visitors from Dr. Chung Wong Cho, the president of the World Taekwondo Federation, and his delegates from the World Taekwondo Federation headquarters in Korea. He's also the Vice President of the International Olympic Committee. We have also Phil Coles, the Vice President of World Taekwondo Federation and a senior member of the International Olympic Committee. We also have Mr. John Kotsifas, the President of Oceania Taekwondo Union, and his delegates. And we have presidents and senior executives of regional Taekwondo federations within the Pacific. 24 judges and technical officials coming from Russia, France, Korea, Sweden, China, India, Taipei, Vietnam, US, Netherlands, Spain, Australia, and also PNG. We have the international regional teams coming from Australia, New Zealand, Tonga, Marshall Islands, Solomon Islands, Fiji, including PNG. And we also have a Chinese Taipei observer delegation that's also coming to see how we organizing this event in PNG and for the region.
Our chances look okay. It's what we do from here to then, and keeping our athletes focused on the game rather than the event itself. We've also engaged a very experienced coach and trainer who the athletes have a lot of confidence in, and who we know a lot about. And he's just arrived in the country, so we'll be doing some last-minute preparation work, fine-tuning our guys. So training's going well. Not as much as I would have liked, but again, given the situation we're in and we're faced with, we try to make the best of our opportunities.
The event is one of the 5 world qualification events leading to Rio Olympics. So the spotlight is on PNG now. Other World Taekwondo federations all over the world will be looking at how Papua New Guinea is going to host this event. And my executive committee and the organizing committee is very confident in delivering this game. Our country has made a statement saying that we have some of the best facilities in the world, and based on that, we brought a world event to our country to use those state-of-the-art facilities, and we believe that with the support of our private sector and our government, we can be able to deliver that event and showcase PNG to the rest of the world.
Well, there you have it. That was the interview with the Taekwondo Federation's Oceania qualifier, Edward Cussman. Godwin, tell us a bit about that interview.
That's correct, Mai. I did catch up with the president himself and the national coach, Edward Cussman. There's a lot of preparations happening in Port Moresby. There's just so many. I saw, speaking to them, as you've seen on the interview, they're just so pressured because they've only got a few days before the tournament kicks off here in Port Moresby at the Tarama Aquatic Centre.
When is the tournament taking place?
So, the tournament itself starts on Saturday this weekend, so 27th of this month, and they've got officials that are traveling from overseas, and we've also got Asian countries that are also traveling to Port Moresby.
So do you know how many teams are coming to PNG for this Oceania qualifier?
That number hasn't been clarified to us, but for sure I can tell you the numbers that PNG president for Taekwondo is looking at athletes that are going to be representing PNG at the Olympic Games. So obviously they're starting off with 12 and then cutting it down to 6, and then to try and get 2 male, 2 female, and to come up with at least maybe 4 if they can.
Did they ever spoke about who their top fighter is at the moment for PNG, and who is the Oceania ranking is coming to PNG?
One of the girls that won gold in the Pacific Games, in the recent Pacific Games, obviously her name's on the list, and they've got Trisa Tona. That's right, that's her name. Trisa Tona is also on the squad, but that doesn't mean that she qualify straight up for the Rio Olympics. Everyone has to attend this championship in order to come up with the final listing for Rio Olympics. So it's good that we have the international judges that will also be coming in to Port Moresby to have a look at the game and see how PNG is going to prepare these games, because knowing for the fact that we have all these international stadiums, as you know, sporting facilities.
I think for the first time we are hosting a Oceania Taekwondo competition happening at Olympic qualifier, and you know, it's exciting to know that these facilities have really boosted the morale of other countries to come over and start competing with our very own athletes to prepare them for the Rio Games.
That's right. My all the credits go to the president and the national coach as well, because they've worked as a team as well as other significant bodies to make this event happen, and they're also asking for the support of the PNG government so that they can make this program a success, the big tournament that's happening this weekend.
Great stuff. You know, I hope the PNG Taekwondo team is well prepared and ready to take on other countries that are coming, and we're excited to see who's going to the Olympic Games.
Yeah, so that's happening this weekend. If you're around Port Moresby, please head down to Tarama Aquatic Centre, because that's where the event is happening. Get out there and support your team, fellow Papua New Guinean athletes. So it will be a great thing for the first time for those of you who doesn't know more about Taekwondo, or you know, enthusiasts out there. Please go out there, because we have international judges that are going to be there. So it's good to see these things firsthand.
Exactly. Well, viewers, we've come to the end of our show for tonight. Please do not hesitate to send us an email.
That's right, Ma. You can send us your email to sports@mtv.com.pg, or you can visit us online.
Or you can also visit us here at MTV Office Level 2, Garden City, Baroko. We'll be more than happy to help.
That's all from us for tonight from Catch Play Team. I'm Godwin Eki.
And I'm Mike Koime.
Good night.
Good night.